Hi, I'm in Carmen, Manitoba with John Gavloski, provincial entomologist with Manitoba Agriculture. John, flea beetles in canola are one of the first insects we see that come on the scene. What are flea beetles looking like this year?
Okay, so first of all, when we talk about flea beetles, there's lots of different types of flea beetles. We've actually got 86 species in Manitoba.
Oh, wow.
10 of those will feed on canola, and 2 of those we can see in really big numbers. So there's all these other species that are kind of at more minor levels. So we've got 2, the crucifer flea beetle, which is almost a solid black, and a striped flea beetle, black with yellow stripes on it, hence striped flea beetle. This year we are seeing, I'll call them moderately to high levels depending on where you are. I've had reports from some growers and agronomists that there has been spraying for flea beetles, foliar spraying. And this is in addition to the seed treatment that was on the plant. Some people have been doing field edges, others it's whole fields. Other people say the seed treatments seem to be doing fine getting them through. So it's really quite variable. The one thing we have noticed this year, a lot of crucifer flea beetles in the population, not as many striped flea beetles in some areas as I'm used to seeing, particularly here in Carmen. In the plots and behind us here, it's been predominantly crucifer flea beetle for, at least the last couple of weeks, and even earlier than that, we just weren't seeing a lot of the striped flea beetle this year, which is very interesting.
Okay. One different insect that's come on the scene a little bit more than normal has been the pea leaf weevil. Now, where have you been seeing those coming in from, and where you're seeing them now, and what is the biggest concern with those?
Okay, so first of all, pea leaf weevil, it belongs to a group of weevils that have a very, very shorter snout. Weevils are are beetles with big snouts. There's a group with shorter snouts, which the pea leaf weevil belongs to. So it is a true weevil. It likes legume plants, but specifically peas and faba beans.
Okay.
You may find the odd one in alfalfa or some of the other legumes occasionally, but they don't seem to do much damage to those things. Peas and faba beans are the 2 crops where they're an issue.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about them in soybeans or dry beans or any of those other legumes. What they will do is create a nitrogen deficiency in the plant. Now, what we're seeing right now is the adult weevils making little semicircular notches on the leaf tips. That feeding really, in most cases, is insignificant, but what the problem is the larvae, so they're right now feeding as adults, laying eggs. When the eggs hatch, the larvae feed on the nodules on the roots, not the roots themselves, but the nodules. The nodules contain rhizobium, which fixes nitrogen. So if you get too much pea leaf weevil feeding, you have less nodules, less rhizobium, less nitrogen fixation. So depending on the degree to which the nodules have been damaged, you could get into situations with higher populations where the plants are showing nitrogen deficiency symptoms later in the season. That's the problem with pea leaf weevil, is the nodule feeding. But again, we're doing a survey right now where we're counting these semicircular notches the adults make. That's just to let us know roughly what the population is like, but it really can't tell us what the yield loss will be, and what we're monitoring isn't the economic damage.
Okay. John, we were talking earlier about if a grower sees pea leaf weevil in their fields now, how do they deal with it, say, for future growing seasons?
Yeah, so one of the reactions is if you see a lot of these semicircular notches, it concerns people, and the first question I sometimes get is, should we be doing a foliar spray to get rid of the weevils that are there? There's been research done looking at foliar sprays for pea leaf weevil, and they really haven't shown a highly economic advantage. Okay. As long as the plants aren't literally being killed by the weevils, they're probably going to grow through the notches. The notches are around the edge of the plant. Usually it's not enough to do economic damage. So the foliar sprays probably aren't going to be highly economical. But if you are seeing a lot of notching, a high degree of notching consistently across the field, that's a sign that you've got a decent population. Nothing much you can do this year that's going to be highly economical. You could consider using a seed treatment next year. Okay. There are seed treatments that will help reduce that, the feeding they do to the nodules.
Okay. So when it comes to flea beetles, we'll kind of skip for a second. What kind of economic threshold are you seeing for foliar spraying for those if need be?
So with flea beetles, the really tricky part is we do have what we call action thresholds, and it's roughly 25% defoliation to the cotyledons and the first 1 or 2 true leaves that are coming out. It's subjective, so you're looking at a plant, you're trying to estimate percent defoliation or percent damage. Tricky to do. Often people, their eyes are drawn to the damage. It's really easy to overestimate. We do have some charts and guides that people can use as a tool just to help them do a good job getting their assessments done. If you're getting to that 25% mark and you've got some hot, calm, dry weather coming up and you're still seeing a lot of flea beetles and you're still in that, say, cotyledon or 1 to 2 leaf stage, those are conditions where a foliar spray is possibly going to be a benefit to you. What will likely be happening if you're starting to see a lot of foliation, all the canola does have a seed treatment on it when it's seeded. You can get anywhere from 3 to maybe 4 weeks of protection, even with the higher end seed treatments. Depending on the weather, it can be as short as about 3 weeks. You might get that 4th week. If we get lots of rain, sometimes that decreases the length of the seed treatment. Regardless, after 3 to 4 weeks, the seed treatments start wearing thin. We start seeing an increase in defoliation, and if that gets to 25% or greater, and you're still in that seedling stage, that's where foliar sprays would be of benefit. What puts us at greater risk is really anything that holds the plants in that seedling stage for a prolonged period of time.
So vulnerable then, yeah.
Exactly.
Right, okay.